Welcome back, YouTubers. This is Omar from Near Mint Condition, and today I'm going to show you guys the Robotech Visual Archive, a book by Udon, and one that I have been waiting on for a while now. Robotech is one of those anime that has a very special place in my heart, along with Captain Harlock, Astro Boy, Captain Future, Marco, and Messenger Z. These were the anime that filled my childhood when I lived in Peru. And Robotech was right up there among my favorite one. Now, if you don't know what Robotech is, I'll give you a quick explanation because I'm sure there's plenty of other videos out there or plenty of other Wikipedia entries that can tell you exactly what a Robotech is and how it was made. Pretty much in the early 80s, a gentleman named Carl Macek decided to bring over an anime to America. However, the anime was only 36 episodes long and it wasn't long enough in syndication. So what he did was something unheard of at the time, was bring over 3 different anime and make it into one giant story in America. And those animes were Super Dimensional Fortress Macross, which became Robotech, the Macross Saga. And then you had Super Dimension Cavalry Southern Cross, which became Robotech, the Robotech Masters. And the third and final series was Genesis Climber Mos Piada, which became the New Generation here in America. Of course, there's several movies after that took from other anime, and of course there's the comics that were around, and now there's a new comic book by Titan Comics, written by Brian Wood and Simon Furman of Transformers fame, and it's a pretty interesting take on the world of Robotech. So now that you know a little bit more about Robotech, if you weren't familiar with it, let's take a look at this sucker. Alright, so before we get the book open, it was previously released as Robotech Art 1. This was probably 86 when this book was released. And it's kind of similar to this. This book has been out of print for over 2 decades now, so I'm glad that Udon brought this book out. So it has a lot of things from here. It has a lot of Haruhiko Mikimoto's original artwork in here because he was the character designer for the original Super Dimensional Fortress Macross. Alright, let's look at the actual book. Here's the front, the spine, with a Veritech there. It's pretty cool. Harmony Gold stamp. Udon up at the top. Yeah, I kind of like the design. There's no dust jacket or anything like that. Let's crack it open. UN Spacey symbol. The classic Super Dimensional Fortress. Table of contents with a Veritech and the innards of a Veritech. You'll be seeing a lot of that in here. A foreword by Tommy Yoon, who is now president of Harmony Gold. He wrote some issues of Speed Racer and introduced a lot of anime elements into the Wildstorm universe. And he took over Harmony Gold. So, as I flip through here, here's the episode guide, done by episode. Now, this only covers the Macross Saga. It doesn't cover the other 2 series I was talking about, the New Generation or the Robotech Masters. As I flip through here, I'll just give you a little bit more information of who Carl Macek was. So, Carl Macek is one of these guys that people either loved or hated, respected or loathed, because he was able to take 3 anime and write his own story with them using the already animated series and just rewriting the dialogue to make it fit his story. Now, a lot of people hate that, but you gotta give credit where credit is due. If it wasn't for Carl Macek, we wouldn't have Streamline Pictures. We wouldn't have those Saturday morning anime on Sci-Fi Network. The big anime boom of the 90s was due to Carl Macek. Akira, all that stuff was brought over by Streamline Pictures, which was Carl's baby. And to an extent, we wouldn't even have Power Rangers, the beast that is Power Rangers, without him, because one of the voice actors in Robotech was Tony Oliver, and Tony Oliver was the voice of Rick Hunter. Tony Oliver decided to take all his knowledge that he learned about making a show like Robotech and started making, and was one of the producers on Power Rangers when it was first broadcasted in America. And I think the character Tommy Oliver is named after him. So it's just a little tidbit. Now, Carl passed away a few years ago, so the Harmony Gold license is kind of weird. Like, they own the characters like Rick Hunter and things like that, and the plot that Carl wrote, but they don't actually own Super Dimensional Fortress Macross or the other 2 series, Mos Piada and Southern Cross. Now, these are all the episode guides here. Here we get into the character designs, which is really cool, because a lot of this was in the original Art 1 book that I showed you earlier, but some of it was left out, like the original concepts of the characters, like Rick Hunter. And it's pretty cool because it gives you a little information about the character, or like the Japanese name of the character. Yeah, Robotech is just... There's Min-Mei. Sorry, I get distracted. I'm a huge fan of this. Now, I'm one of those people that actually love Robotech and love Macross, which you hardly find. Most people either love one or the other. Not me. I happen to be... Robotech was my baby. That's the one that I grew up with. But in my mid-teens, I finally got to see Super Dimensional Fortress Macross, and I loved it. As a matter of fact, Do You Remember Love is one of my favorite anime movies ever. The soundtrack to that movie and the way that it's animated, and again, Haruhiko Mikimoto's art. Oh, it's awesome. This is really cool because it has a lot of character designs that were not included in the original book, and I've never seen any of these. I'll just flip a little more, show you. Yeah, of course, the mech, right? You have the SDF-1. Get the layout, the insides, the internal mechanics of the machines. The different ships. Oh, there's the Veritech fighters, Max ship. So even if you already own Art 1, oh, this is so cool. Yeah, the innards of the Veritech, the original concept designs. Even if you already own Art 1, I highly suggest getting this. This is a really nice hardcover, well worth it. And they want to do 4 of these, I guess 1 for each series, and then leaving the 4th book for the follow-ups, like the movies and things like that. So here's some of the Centrati ships. And if you've never seen Robotech or Macross, I suggest watching either one. The environments and locations, storyboards, and this is really cool. This is the origin of Robotech. This actually kind of tells you what I just told you towards the beginning of this video, but it's written in the worlds of Carl Macek. But at the time, when it was originally written in the Robotech Art 1 book that I own, he went uncredited as the writer of this and even referred to himself in the 3rd person. So it's pretty interesting to read it now knowing it was him. And there's also an interview with Nobuo Ishiguro, which is the original director of Super Dimensional Fortress Macross. And that's pretty much it. So that's pretty much everything that is in the book. If this is your first introduction to anything about Robotech or Macross, I highly, highly, highly suggest watching the anime. I believe Hulu or Amazon Prime, you can stream Robotech, not Macross. It's the English dub that Carl did. But, you know, that is the one that I grew up watching, and there's nothing wrong with that if that's your introduction to this wonderful series. The reason I am the way I am is because I idolized a lot of these characters, especially Roy Folkers. So I think really highly of this series. It was a big part of my childhood. It was a big part of my growing up. And now it's a big part of my family because I'm showing it to my kids. So the characters that I idolized are now being seen by my daughters for the first time. So I have a lot to thank for this show. I didn't realize how important it really was to me until I started doing this video. So thank you very much for watching. If this is your first time watching the show, please don't forget to hit the like button if you enjoyed what you saw. And if you really, really enjoyed what you saw, please don't forget to hit the subscribe button. And join us every week for our weekly show on Thursdays where we talk about anime, manga, video games, comic books, toys, and pretty much anything in the geek world. So this one was for you, Carl. To the stars.